Herrera show. Gonna wait here while we get a few people in here. Let me get my phone connected so I can get some audio here. And as you get on, just check in, say hello. All right, I got one on. That's got to be my phone. Okay. Get this plugged in. What a feeling. What's going on, Miguel? ¿Cómo está, mi amigo? Hey, I'm gonna give myself a like before you do it. Man, how was your driving, brother? Sound okay? Let me check. Yeah, we got good sound. What is it? Huh? Water? No, I got water, thank you. Soda? I got water, thank you. Stop trying to give me sugar. We don't want to have too much sugar. Man, a lot of crazy stuff going on, man. Let's see what we got here. Hi, Irma. Welcome. Thanks for joining. If you see me doing this, it's because I'm looking around my light rim. Okay, so you're heading back. So don't text. It's all good. Just be safe while you're driving. No problem. God bless you guys. How you guys? You guys had a good day. Let's see if we're ready for tonight's chat. I know my eyes don't ever look good in here, but it is time. It's that time. It's that time. I'm a little bit later today because I got this thing, this holder, so that I can put both of my cameras up at the same time. You sent an email. Let me check it right now, sweetheart. Let's see what we got. I checked it earlier, but I didn't see anything in there. Let's see if you can send me an email. No, I don't see any emails. Only emails I got is from Omar and Miguel. I don't know who Eddie Guerrero is. Sorry about that. Hey, Kenneth, how are you? Welcome, welcome. Luigi Mangione. Any sales coming past here? Any sales come past? I don't know what that means, guys. What is up? Portuguese. Repent and give your life to Jesus. Jesus loves you more than anything, than anyone. What's going on, Sean? What's up? He says. Michael loves Luigi. I love Mario. That's where your love's got to go. It's got to go to Mario, not Luigi. Let's see. Yeah, you know, just those 10 little hairs in there. They're there to try to hide my double chin. I figure if I grow my 10 hairs on my chin, then my second chin won't show up. It's not gonna look too bad. Hey, you know, you gotta work it, baby. You gotta find things to beautify yourself sometimes. Better way to do it is to grab any natural resources that you already have on your body. Let's see. Man cannot live on bread alone. Amen. Bom dia, Lisa. Good day to you too. Rest in peace, Charlie. You're the only person that can see me, says just facts. Actually, Jesus Christ is who we should be worshiping. And all glory goes to God. Amen. Rest in peace. I don't want to hide them. This means royalty. You guys don't know, so it's okay. You know, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, they say. And I am glad for that saying. What's up, Borsallino? Welcome, brother. Good to see you here always. God bless you. Sixto, mi hermano, God bless you. Thanks for joining. I love you guys coming in here, and feels more familiar when you guys are in here. I appreciate that. Guys, we're almost at 6,000 subscribers. That's crazy. I cannot believe it. I thank you guys for doing that. So here's going to be a couple of house rules for today. So I don't want to today. I'm not going to what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to fight with any Christians that have a different view about Christianity than I do. Okay? Today we're not going to do that. But we are going to talk a little bit about Charlie Kirk and some of the things that I've been watching lately that has been bugging me. But hopefully we can come to a conclusion that we can be better people. And that is the goal for today. Let's see. God bless you. Love the vibe. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Sixto. I take that prayer and blessing and the covering. Sire, be respectful. You're going to come in here, make your comments count. You are going to go to timeout. There you go. All right. So here, a couple house rules. Nothing racist on my chats, please. And no hateful comments. I like people to use their freedom of speech, but you will be respectful to other people's religions, beliefs, and cultures. With that being said, we might not have much activity today because today I will be blocking a lot of people. I find that people don't want to dialogue sometimes. Like I am here, like Philip. How are you, my friend? Ryan, you're going to time out for 10 minutes. Well, we'll push on time out for 5 minutes. See if you behave. It needs to happen because I'll be honest with you guys. I'm a Honduran American. I promised somebody yesterday that I will wear the Honduras flag, and I want everybody to be respectful to one another. Okay. Now I know we're adults. But then I find that there is actually people that are 13 to 17 watching this podcast sometimes. And so, you know what I mean? I think we have to be a little bit more careful with stuff. So that's where I'm at with that. And let's see, is smoking on a Charlie Pack offensive? I don't care about that. That's fine. No, it's not disrespect to say Jesus is King of Kings because he is. No, that's okay. I've had people come in here and say Allah Akbar. That's okay. You know, I always say, Inshallah. It's a couple of words that I've learned, from the Muslim language, and I think that it's okay to use. Thank you, Sixto. This is for all my catrachos, man. Thank you, List. I appreciate it. And Jerry says, you want to talk about respect now? A few weeks ago, you were insulting people on your live stream. So here's the difference, guys. What I'm talking about respect is you can have freedom of speech. And as I said, I'm going to go ahead and do some house rules that we're going to clean up the chatting here, okay? So number one, welcome to the Dennis Herrera show, which is me. and I appreciate it. Number two, if you come in here and you start insulting me, you might just get insulted right back. Now, I can tolerate that. As a freedom of speech, we can do that. Yeah, and if this is not your chat, I get it. Move along, right? I want people in here that want to have a discussion, that wants to ask questions as I'm speaking, and I will try to answer them as I see it. Hey, how are you, Omar? Good to see you here again. Hope you're in good spirits today. Jesse, welcome from Oregon, the neighboring state. I love it. I saw Renee here somewhere. Cool Cat Renee, there you. Cool Cat Renee, I thought I saw Cool Cat Renee in here. Or maybe I just wanted to see him. Oh, there you are. Bienvenido. How are you, my friend? Always good to see you in here. God bless you. All right, so let me finish my rules, guys. You guys are typing already. Throw me off track here. Okay, so if you bring it, if you dish it, you better take it. All right? But the main goal is don't be racist, and please have some respect for other people's religions. Remember, we got a freedom of speech, but we also have freedom of religion, and I want you guys to be respectful. All right? That's all I ask. Other than that, you're more than welcome to ask questions in here. Julia, we'll see you later. Thank you for stopping by. Hello. There's going to be a lot of people in timeout, I'll tell you that right now. Let's see. Wellington Daobrioco. I don't know what that means, Emmanuel. Anthony says, a mí gusta traditional camisa. Hey, good job. I understand what that means. He said, I like your traditional shirt. Thank you, sir. Yes, you can always ask questions, as Miguel say. So I want to touch up on, let's see. Yeah, we need to build a wall. We need to continue building a wall, that's for sure. Hakeem says, El Salvador or Honduras women?
What?
I'm looking at my wife. She's Samoan. I know Honduran women. There is actually, obviously, my mother is a Honduran woman. And she's the best woman I have ever met in my life. Most loving, most hardworking, the wisest, gave the best advice in my life, care for me the most. So I will have to say Honduran woman. Now, my mom, she's, from the early 90s, 1900s. So, yeah, with that being said, I mean, that's when the good women were back then. Today and age, I don't know. I dated one Honduras woman, and I told her that I was going to come back within 6 months. But after a week that I came back to the States, she was with somebody else. So there you go. So I guess Honduran women didn't work out for me. And Salvadorian, same way. Not from Honduras, obviously, but the same thing down in California. Same with Mexican. And had a bad experience with an American woman, and been married to my wife from Samoa for 14 years now, and very happy. Ups and downs, like every other relationship, but if there's one thing that I can say is I learned from our vice president, J.D. Vance, that Charlie Kirk was actually a great husband. And what he said to me, it kind of got in my head a little bit, because he said that Erica, which I believe that's Charlie's wife's name, was telling him that when she was sharing about him is that he never yelled at her. I know I've yelled at my wife. I know. And J.D. Vance has said the same thing about his wife as well. And it is crazy that he was such a good husband. He was such a good father. And, he stood up for what he believed. And he loved God. He loved Jesus. He was saved. He stood up for Israel, also criticized Israel. He believed in freedom of speech. He believed that people can debate, people can argue, people can talk, communicate. And it's very sad, right? Because he was 100% about this. He says that he wanted to dialogue with people. and he wanted to talk because the moment that we stop talking, it's when we start killing. And the person that shot him was obviously not talking. And that is true. That's exactly what happened. You know, many people came up and asked him about, you know, transgender questions. They asked him about religious questions. They asked him about politics. They asked him about a lot of life, you know, history, life advice, about abortion, all these questions. And yet he was always able to answer it. And he knew so much because he read a lot. And so he knew a lot about a lot of different subjects. I am not as smart as he is. I don't think I know half of the things that he actually knows. You know, I do like to research. I do like to have a challenge. I do like to share the truth. And I mean, that's what we're about. We are here. Me, I am just a host for all of you guys. But, you know, I'm just like giving you my opinion. And what I want in return is I want some thoughts. I want some prayers. I want some questions. I want some ideas. Now, the other thing is, like, you know, if I miss your comment, don't get upset at me and you know, try not to spam. But if I miss your comment, it's because there's a lot of comments coming through and I want to concentrate on what I'm telling you. So I hope that you guys are understanding on that. And I will try to catch as many comments that I can. You know, I appreciate you guys' support, your patience with that. Thank you for your likes and subscribes. I cannot believe that you guys have gotten me almost to 6,000 subscribers in the 2 months. I think almost 2 months that I started doing this. So I am very grateful to God, number one, and to you guys. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Now, if you are a regular here, you know that I start off my lives at 5 p.m., sometimes 5:30. Depends, you know, what time I get off work. This is not what I do for a living, but maybe one day I probably will. We'll see what God has in store for us. God's Warrior says, here, let's see, Nick, let me go back here, trying to grab a couple of comments. Liz says it eventually got him pew pew. Yes, I know. Sixto, Charlie used to ask his wife, how can I be a better man? And that is true, Sixto. And isn't that awesome? I would ask my wife, but she don't know how to answer, so I just have to be the best man that I can. I gotta leave my house, and that's what I gotta do. I gotta do the best that I know how to do, and hopefully that will be good enough for my family. What's your thoughts on Alcohol Anonymous? So, you know, just alcohol, we had a talk about this with a religious person last night. And alcohol it's, you know, it can be like alcoholism is a disease that affects the blood. And alcohol makes people go crazy. If they stop drinking, they get very sick, shaky, and they are just miserable. So it's very tough. I say that if you know somebody that's suffering with alcoholism, be as supportive as possible. Hopefully, maybe, you know, try not to trigger anxieties. Maybe try to have a happy life. I mean, what other advice can I give you besides showing people that you can be happy and you can be excited without having to drink? We don't want to live like zombies in this life. A lot of people, they can't stop smoking weed. They're so used to smoking marijuana, they can't give it up. They're used to living on an altered reality, if you will. So if somebody has issues with alcohol, don't have alcohol in the house. Don't go to a place where there's going to be alcohol. You know, it is just the same as if I was tempted by women. I don't want to go to a strip joint. I don't want to go to a place where I'm going to be forced to cheat on my wife. I want to be able to go to a place where I know that I can handle myself, that I can be the man that God wants me to be. And, you know, if I find myself to go to a place where maybe there's a lot of temptation, I will try to grab somebody that I trust, and I will have that guy come with me as support per se. Or my wife can come with me. It's always an option. So I hope that helps a little bit, Kyle. And I want to apologize. I can't remember the name of the person, but the other day they asked me for prayer I had done prayer before, but they asked me and I missed it. So I apologize about that. Let's see. Person Kuna says hi, hello person. Layla says he is a beautiful man and is now with our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Amen. Ray Flores says now you want to preach instead of politics. You know what, Ray? I said that to my friend Miguel, and I said, I used to have this. I opened up this channel because I wanted to talk about politics. I wanted to talk about what's going on in our country, what's going on in the world, right? I still want to talk about that, but there's a lot more people asking me about God. A lot of people are asking me about prayer. A lot of people are asking me, like Kyle here was asking me about about alcohol, things like that. So a lot of people are still have Charlie Kirk in their mind. It's in their hearts. It takes some time to grieve. And, we will all acknowledge that, his death is not in vain. It is very unfortunate that the world, this is the way that they wake up, but it's very fortunate that he died, fighting the good fight and preaching the gospel. I think that was awesome. Ray, Charlie, like many of us, we don't just talk about one thing. We want to talk about a lot of things that affect our daily lives in the world. And if you want to talk about religion, let's talk about religion. But if you want to talk about politics, ask me a question, and then we can go with that. Most of the trolls or my faithful haters that come into my chats, they want to know about the Epstein files, and the latest that I have on the Epstein files is, while I was watching Kash Patel getting grilled by the Democrats, the question of the Epstein files came up, and I didn't know this, and it's crazy enough. He actually said that they have been wanting to release the files, and judges, small judges and judicial courts, are actually blocking them from releasing the files. So he told at the hearing, he told them to go talk to those judges to let them release those files. So it's not Donald Trump stopping them. The FBI has nothing to do with Trump. FBI is independent. As much as Kash Patel, likes Donald Trump, he's there to do a job. I'm going to tell you, my wife and I can work in the same place, but when we are at work, it is business. We take care of the business that we are paid to take care of. And so it doesn't matter if I support my wife. If she's wrong on something at work, I'm going to call her out, just like she calls me out when I'm wrong about something at work. That has nothing to do with anything. And so it does not affect my job. She does hers, I do mine, and so does Kash Patel. He does his job. He's not going to do something that is illegal. They try to set him up with questions like, did you fire anybody in the FBI because they were investigating or going hard on President Donald Trump, like to say, we're not politicizing, the whole FBI department, which we know that the Biden administration did 100%, right? They were not complaining about that then, but because it's Donald Trump, now they want to complain. And they try to set him up so many times, and he just he answered the way that he was supposed to answer. Oh, that water's good. So, there's that. Okay, so there's a little bit about politics. We will continue on that because there's a lot of great things that are happening. But right now, everybody seems to be very distracted, which I think that you guys should still pay attention to what's going on around you. Let's see, Brazilian here. Brasileiro, huh? Welcome, bienvenido. If you're still here, you probably left already. Let's see, I heard a 22-year-old man shot him. I can't imagine doing something like that, especially at 22. It's very unfortunate. And one of the things that I have noticed that has been happening throughout my life, it's that the innocence of humans is being lost at a younger age every day. It used to be like, for example, I'll give you an example. back in, let's see, 1979, I met my brother-in-law. And, you know, he wasn't a grown man. He met my sister, my older sister, and they fell in love. In this age, in this time, they both got married. And they were virgins. You rarely hear of that nowadays. So think about the times. They were already in their, in their late 20s. He was in his 30s. And he was a virgin until he got married. They made two children. And now they're grandparents, and they did it the right way. Their older son got married already, got 3 kids. The other son, he's still a virgin. He's in his late 20s. He hasn't found the right one yet, but he's keeping himself for marriage. And see, that's the kind of stuff that I feel like we don't have, nowadays. Hey, there's Carlos. I see you, bro. I see you. Left and right game will play you out. Yes, but we're not left or right. We're hopefully in the middle, my friend. The new religion is pure entertainment. Carlos, I know that's what it looks like, but it's not. Just so you know. That is a Honduras hat, yes. Well, the hat is made in China, guys. I know, some of you guys like to call it out. But yeah, the flag is from Honduras. I missed some comments in here. Ronald, how are you, my friend? I see you. Welcome, my friend. God bless you for being in here. Thank you for the support. Humans are by default born with empathy. Yes, Liz. And then, depends on the home that they're growing up in, right? Will you be playing Battlefield 6? I have Battlefield 5, and I couldn't even get past the campaign. I just don't have time to play the video games as I used to, because now I've been doing this live and it takes a lot of energy from me, just so you know. But the game that I actually play, I play Battlefield 5. If I find that I got more time to play it, I'll probably get the 6. I know my brother-in-law says that he likes it. I think it's like what do you call it? I think it's a trial, right? Or beta or something like that. And then the game should be coming out soon. I don't remember what date is the release. So there's that. I play Destiny 2 is what I play. And speaking of Destiny, man, I heard a nasty guy named Destiny. He is some YouTuber guy. This guy, it's an idiot. And I think he needs to lay off those energy drinks. It's really messing up with his head and his nervous system. Pinto says, I don't condone violence like that at all. Of course, but the man literally didn't believe in empathy. No, you guys don't understand this, and you have to understand the reason why he said that is not because he doesn't. It's because the left has used that word to excuse their bad behavior, and they want to have that empathy, right, for the wrong reasons. Just like the word gay, gay means happy, but people use that word to say something else. They called Donald Trump fascist for the last 10 years. They called him a Nazi for the last 10 years. Those words don't mean anything anymore. You talk about racism, that word doesn't exist. You talk about, this and that, and the words don't mean what they're supposed to mean, because the left, this Marxist practicing left, they've been using these words and they lost the meaning, that there's no weight behind it. And that's what he's talking about. That's what I understood. So I'm surprised that you understand that. Now, if somebody told you that and that's what you believe, well, there's your answer. But that's not what I understood. Hi, Indio. How you doing, brother? Let's see. Sixto says, scary times with the youngsters. Yep, and they're getting younger and younger. I remember listening or hearing Denzel Washington talking about the yummies, right? I think that's what it's called, right? The yummies. They're like the little kids walking around with these guns and doing all this stuff that, adults have done in the past. And they're getting younger and younger. They're getting a hold of guns. And the worst thing is that the government keeps trying to take our Second Amendment rights away from us. But what they don't understand, and either they don't want to, or maybe they are doing it on purpose, is that criminals are not going to follow the rules. Criminals will always find a way to get a hold of weapons and guns and assault rifles. And yet they put all these rules and all these regulations, and they want to take away our rights. And, well, here we are. Now like that we can't have guns anymore, it seems like. And they're trying to go that way because they're trying to overthrow the people. Now, if you don't see it, you got to look around at history. You got to look what's going on outside of our country. Look, I'm going to tell you guys this. Hey, Galaxy, welcome. I'm going to tell you guys this. COVID-19 is the biggest test to see how they can control the new world order. What happens? They made a virus. They made a Chinese virus at the Wuhan lab. I've seen some horrific videos, by the way, on the black market in the Chinese community in the Wuhan. It was disgusting. But they released COVID-19. What happens? They release it here in the United States of America. And then what happens? We do a lockdown. Boom. We'll go fear-mongering with everybody. They tell Donald Trump, hey, listen, this virus, no, don't ban flights from Muslim countries, from all these countries, from China, because that's racist. This is what they say. That's racist. They use that word to get away with making the president, Donald Trump, on his first term, looking like a racist Nazi. And they did that on purpose. And a lot of people on the left ate that. And they supported it. And they called us evil people. You remember that? If you didn't take the shot, you were an evil person and you should be in jail. If you didn't wear a mask, you're an evil person and you should be in jail. We're Nazis and we are just hateful and we are the cancer. They called us so many names. Bigots, fascists, all these words. You hear it over and over and over and over again. And I hope that if there is any left people left in this live chat, that you guys pay attention to this. Because once the United States bent the knee, once the United States, the fake Democrats that are the communist, socialist, Marxist party right now, and they haven't changed. These people got to go. They got to go. We need new people in office so that we can have a real Democratic Party. These people are evil. They are hateful. They had made millions of dollars supposedly being servants to the people. No, they're not our servants. They are thieves. They're taking advantage of us. They're taking advantage of the mentally handicapped. They're taking advantage of the lazy people. They play on to the communities and make them feel like they're worthless. Like, oh, you need a handout. You need to stay home. Why you gonna look for a job? Why you gotta go read a book? Just stay home. Drink your 40, smoke your weed. Hey, stay home and be happy. In the meantime, they're out there and they shut down the country. And then Mexico, China, Russia, the whole world shut down. Phase number 1 complete. Yes, we can control the world. And all they had to do was stop President Donald Trump to get away with all this shit that they did. You remember President Donald Trump said, hey, we're going to work on these vaccines. What was it? Warp speed mission. And we work on these vaccines and the doctors told him, yeah, this is good. President Donald Trump is not a doctor. But he agreed and he had the team work on it. The doctors lied to him. Now, Bob Kennedy, it's out there telling the truth to the people. What they have told us were lies, right? So if you're not paying attention, they will take advantage of us. So they have been trying to get rid of our Second Amendment for so long. And the reason why Charlie was okay by losing some lives, including his own, and he died defending the Second Amendment, is because if they control the world, they will overmine or undermine the will of our forefathers that gave us the right to bear arms. If we have no right to bear arms, then when they do this world order again and they try to control us, if we don't bend the knee, if we don't listen to them, if we don't allow them to force ourselves into slavery, they will come at us with guns. They will be tyrannical. And then we're going to lose control, and this country will not be the greatest country in the world again. So we got to maintain and keep our Second Amendment rights. We cannot allow them to take our guns away. Period. Now, that's just my point of view. And you say, Dennis, what the hell are you talking about? Are you also smoking the weed? And I say, no. Let's take a look what happened in Venezuela. You guys don't want to hear about Venezuela, but here we go. Venezuela went from a socialist country, which socialism can sustain itself for a while. Eventually, it will bankrupt itself. Venezuela was one of the richest countries in the world. During Chavez, which was a criminal. Now, that's a real criminal that became president of Venezuela. You guys talk about Trump being a criminal, a felon. You guys are retarded. But this guy was a real criminal. Actually went hardcore to jail. And I don't know how he was able to become president, but I know he was in the military. And what do? They take advantage with those guns, take advantage of the people that don't have guns, and they took over. Now, he did accomplish something. He promised the Venezuelan people that he was going to end poverty. And he did for a while. So he went down to 2-3% of the population living in poverty. And then what happens? As the money is running out, as he keeps spending all this money to supposedly end poverty, what happens? The economy starts shutting down. And then by the time that Nicolas Maduro, who is now in presidency, is an illegitimate president, what does he do? He keeps the same spending. He doesn't fix the budget. He's losing money. He has prisoners, political prisoners, that ran against him for office. He has them as prisoners, and these are the same people that he says that he's going to kill if we go to Venezuela and invade to take him out. And then we have 75%, 70 to 75% of the Venezuelan people voted for another man to be the president. This president and the administration are in hideout. And they're waiting for the United States of America to get rid of this criminal that also runs the cartels. So you want some truth? There you have it. You got all these Venezuelan people that have no guns. They have no way to defend themselves. And this communist tyrant, Nicolas Maduro, that keeps lying about the Bible, that keeps going like this, like the Catholics do. He's blaspheming against God. He don't care. He tells stories from the Bible. They're wrong, 100% wrong. He be saying some stupid stuff that is not even in the Bible. This is things and sayings and meanings that he has gathered through other people that don't even read the Bible. So, you know what? Somebody told me that politics don't mix with religion, but I'm going to tell you something. It was God that has put government in place in this earth. And this country was founded under God Christianity values. Whether people like it or not, it doesn't matter. 67% of this country is still Christian. 2% is still Judaism. There's other religions, but 67%, the majority, are Christians. This is a Christian country, just like the UK. The difference with the UK is they got sick and tired, and now all of the UK citizens are out there marching for their freedom of religion. They understand they're a Christian country, and they're not going to let any illegal immigrants come and terrorize their country. But here in the United States of America, we don't pay attention. We don't learn. Our education system is going down the drain. We are last in education. How is that possible? This is the greatest country in the world. What's going on? Venezuelans need to be freed. And Venezuelans cannot stand for themselves because they have no Second Amendment. That little regime that Nicolas Maduro has, he might have 800,000 people, but it's not 8 million like he says. He's lying. And not just that. This is people that are barely surviving with any water left, with any food left. Their power goes out most of the time in the day. They are below poverty level. More than 90% of the population of Venezuela is poor. And that happened in Venezuela in the last couple decades. That same shit is happening here. This is why we have to fight for our Second Amendment. We cannot let these communist, socialist, Marxist people in office destroy America. Now, I will tell you this. After Charlie Kirk was assassinated, millions of Democrats are turning to Republicans. We believe that they are seeing that unfortunately their Democratic Party no longer exists. If they get fired, great. These people got to get off office. And we need somebody that deserves to be there, that really loves the American people, to go there and argue with Republicans on what's best for this country. I can tell you that Republicans have supported Democrats more when they are in office than when Democrats support us when we're in office. And that is a fact. They keep changing data numbers to have the advantage, to think or make themselves look like they're innocent. You know, I used to watch a show called The Young Turks. And Cenk, I think, is one of the main guys in there. This guy is such an idiot. And you can go ahead and call names and say stuff like that. That's fine. But I don't want racism, and I don't want nobody in here disrespecting anybody's religion. With that being said, Miguel, are you a moderator yet? Oh, wait, you're driving. Never mind. You can't do it. Let's see. I need somebody to moderate for me here. Let's see. It's sure not. No LGBT flag. Jesse, hello from Oregon. Hello from Washington State. Anna, we're not going to talk about Palestine right now because that's a different subject. But you can't do it, right? Because you're driving, I think, right? I don't see Trinity. So, Ronald, you want to be moderator? All right, I'll let you do that. So I don't want you to block any comments. If they want to insult me, that's fine, okay? But if they start being racist or they're, not respecting other people's religion, just put them in timeout for like an hour or 10 minutes or whatever, okay? All right. I need good people to do it, okay? I don't need people that don't support me because I don't know what the hell you're going to do with my chat. And I don't want everybody's comments to go away. I want to be able to read some of them. I can't even, I don't have to pronounce the word Eduardo, assassinated, however you think I said it. So I will let you get away with that insult, but don't be a jackass, you beta. All right, I'm going to concentrate on what I was telling you. You have to see what's happening around the world, otherwise you will also be deceived. And you have to understand, if you haven't heard me say that before, if you are new to my channel, two things I want to say. I want to say thank you for your likes and subscribes. But I also want to tell you that whenever I say a word in English, I am 100% thinking in Spanish. And every word that I say to you, I'm translating it to English. So yes, some people will make fun of me for mispronouncing words, maybe switching the way that they're supposed to look or say, whatever, it's going to happen. All right. But let's go back to Charlie. See, the leftist, now not the Democrats, the leftist, these are the crazy people. They sang, they danced, they rapped, they celebrated the death of a human being. And there was this guy, his name is Destiny. He's some type of YouTuber. I don't know if he's a gamer or whatever. But this guy, if I have to insult somebody, this will be my number one guy that I will insult. Because the communists that are pretending to be Democrats, they already have their rep. But this guy, it's such an idiot. He makes fun of Erica, the wife that is mourning the loss of her husband. And by the way, a great man, not a criminal like Floyd. There was riots on the street. The guy was a drug addict. This is the same guy that robbed a pregnant woman at gunpoint. And they even made a statue. And they made murals of this guy. Oh, the BLM and all these people were out there protesting to celebrate a criminal. But then you see a righteous man, a good father, good husband, good friend, good brother. And they celebrate his passing. Not only did they celebrate the passing, they make fun of his wife while she's still mourning. So Destiny, that YouTuber, you're a scumbag. I got no respect for you. And if my advice serves you anything, stop drinking those energy drinks because you're going nuts. You don't need that shit. You need to bring it down a couple notches and start thinking about what you're actually saying to people. It's one thing if you want to call people names and all this other stuff. Hi, Cesar. Welcome, welcome. You can call people names and all this stuff. It's your freedom of speech, and that's where we're at. But to make fun of somebody from dying, I don't think so. I'm not with that. Yeah, whatever. It's your freedom of speech. But the problem is that you have to be held accountable for what you say. So if you're going to act like a scumbag, I'm going to call you a scumbag. If you're going to come in here and be disrespectful, well, that's who you are. I understand. You have no manners. You have received no education. I told this story many weeks ago, like maybe a month or so ago when I started this channel. My wife came in the morning and told me that my brother-in-law, right, was in the car and he wasn't moving. I thought the guy was just passed out, whatever. By the time I come out there, well, his eyes are open. He has no pulse. His body's starting to get cold. Plus, it's morning. And I put my ear to his chest. Nothing. I lift his arm. He seems gone. We called the police. The ambulance showed up. They tried to resuscitate him. They gave him the Narcan, which one of you guys that is actually a subscriber told me that's what the name of the drug is or whatever that thing is. And we lost him. And then I talked to one of the police officers and they found this little substance in there and he said, most likely this is fentanyl. And so we believe that we lost our brother to fentanyl drug. Now, I tell you this because a lot of people are dying from fentanyl. But the main reason for my story, letting you know this, it's I always carry my gun with me. I have my concealed permit. My gun goes with me everywhere I go. And I was having such a hard time that day. It was a very dark time for myself. And I'm not the most patient man. I am not the most loving. I have an attitude sometimes. So I called into my job and I said, listen, I cannot go to work today. And I told them why. And they said, no, take your time, as much as you need. And I remember I went to Walmart, and I told this story a couple times. But if you're new here, you get to hear it. And I went to Walmart, and I'm devastated. Anything at any moment can light me up, and I go crazy. Devastated. And then I heard a glass breaking in another aisle. As I come across, there is like there's four of them, three guys and a girl. They're all dressed in black. They all got this crazy makeup on, color hair, etc. And as I said, I always carry my gun. And they were playing volleyball. Not in one aisle, straight across aisles. And I said, can you please stop playing volleyball inside the store? I get it. I'm not an employee, but it doesn't matter. I'm walking by there. I get hit by the ball. I'm going to get upset. Or maybe they can hurt some kid or something, whatever. And I was so devastated that the girl said, oh, this is just Walmart. And I said, yeah, but it's not a volleyball court now, is it? And the guys laughed. Now, I was so devastated, I didn't pay attention that they laughed, meaning broken ice, right? The ice has been broken. I can talk now. But I was devastated, so I didn't see that. And thank you for that. I appreciate it, Profeta. And the girl started bad-mouthing me. And I can tell you, inside all that devastation that I was feeling, I started shaking inside my body. And I started I was going to a very dark place. And the guys start laughing at me. And they start insulting me. And they started getting closer to my face. Now, they get closer, they're about this high to me. I said, let me tell you something. One day, you're going to mess with the wrong guy, going through a very devastating time. He's going to be in a very dark place, and you don't want to be there when that happens. They laughed. I thought about pulling my gun on these jerks. And of course, I've been trained, disciplined. Don't pull out your gun unless you're going to use it. And it's not a Second Amendment right that tells me that if somebody insults me or argues with me, I'm going to pull my gun out and shoot. No, that's not what the Second Amendment right is for. And I said that to myself. And I said, well, what about my kids? What about my wife? How do I want to be remembered as a man? You know, and then I called the police, and there happened to be a police officer right outside the Walmart, so they came in right away. This nice black man that came in, and I told them what happened. And I said, I'm going to be honest with you. I carry a gun, and I got a concealed permit. And I told these guys over here that one day they're going to pick on the wrong person, and something bad's going to happen. So I asked them to be respectful. And of course, as soon as I turned my back to them, somebody threw something at me. I don't know if it was paper, a candy wrap, whatever, something, right? I just saw it fly by me. And it didn't hit me. And the police officer saw it. And he said, who threw that? And they're trying to deny it. And he said, do you want to press charges on all of them? And I said, no. No, we're not going to do that. But you know what? I tell you that story because a lot of people, they like to anger others. They don't know if that person is devastated with something horrible that happened in their life. They don't understand somebody's stressing. Maybe somebody lost their check. Somebody robbed them. Their family's about to get kicked out of their house. They're about to lose their car. There's no food on the table. They got kids. They're being hungry. Food stamps is not coming in time. Whatever stress it is, somebody got fired. Somebody's been getting picked on all his life, and that person is at break point and says, I've had it. And that person can lose his mind, and then here comes the violence. Here comes the shooting. But instead of lifting others, the first thing people do when they come in, especially on here on my chat, and it's crazy because I have heard from other people that have their chats that they also get insulted and they get all violent with their words, and they start threatening people's lives and things like that. And so yeah, I believe it, Quantum. Demons are stupid, I know. And then King Christian says I'm a hypocrite. I would like to know why. No to LGBT. I'll say no to the T. But you know what? Everybody has their own way of life, so we can't judge them. God will judge them, but we still give the message of salvation to all people. And Armida says, "That's right. You're a good man. Tell the truth. Being hateful to each other is not their case, and it's not good on God's eyes." Amen. And that is the truth. Israel isn't being oppressed, he said. I think this is a troll. I think this some of these got to be bots. There is no way that people are that stupid. It has to be bots. It has to be bots just putting random comments in here, because I refuse to believe that there is that many stupid people left in this country. I think this is the greatest country on earth. Hi, Raj. How are you? I see you in there. Welcome, sister. Paul Kennedy, there you are, my friend. Be nice today, okay? Be nice. I know you get a little rowdied up in here, but you got to be nice. You got better things to do, and you have a family. Yeah, that's true, 100%. I'm glad that I am glad that we have the Holy Spirit to guide us in life. Just imagine, I would have made a mistake to take out 4 lives. I don't know if they were parents. They seem to be in the mid to late 20s. Take out 4 lives, the devastation of the parents, maybe kids, brothers, sisters, family members that they might have. And I would have been the guy. I would have been the guy that did it. And it would have been very hard for me to forgive myself. So I am glad that God stopped me from doing that with, trying to defend myself. I just walked away, very shaky inside, and, again, I was very devastated with the loss of my brother to fentanyl. And, it's crazy that people don't understand why we are against illegal immigration. There is so many hateful people already in this country. And on top of that, we get millions of more hateful people and criminals, already criminals before breaking our federal law of the border. They're already hardcore criminals. A lot of them are running away from their own country because they are accused of being rapists and all this other stuff, right? And we gotta, it's not betraying your people. It's respecting the house where you're at. Like if I come over to John, thank you, John. I am from Honduras. Let's say, for example, I go to John's house, and then, hey, Rick, this guy again. What a nice hat. And I go to John's house, right? And John says, hey, Dennis, make yourself at home. But you know what? I'm going to be polite. And if I say, hey, can I get something to drink? Hey, make yourself at home. Can I use the restroom? Hey, make yourself at home. I appreciate the hospitality, but it's still his house. I'm going to respect it. And so if I see Rick comes in there, and then John is like, hey, bro, I don't need you. I don't want you here. I don't want you in my house. And then Rick just comes in there, takes his muddy shoes on after walking all over the clean carpet that they just vacuumed and washed. And then he just goes into the fridge, grabs all kinds of stuff, goes use the toilet, doesn't flush it, and goes all this other stuff. Because I am a guest. And obviously John has already told him he's not welcome there. I'm going to stand up for John. And I'm going to say, Rick, what the hell do you think you're doing? Get the hell out of his house. He doesn't want you here. You're disrespectful. You got his carpet dirty. You didn't even flush the toilet. You came over here and ate all his food in the fridge. Who do you think you are to be in his house without his permission? And so you can say, well, that's not your business. Well, I'm there. I am also a guest. I am respecting John's house rules, and this guy didn't even get invited to come inside the house, and yet he comes in here and starts destroying everything in the house. I'm going to step up with John, and I'm going to help him out. And that's just how I feel about this country. I am from Honduras. And now the one thing that I will tell you that I don't like, and I think maybe this is the reason why we have very ghetto Hispanic neighborhoods in California specific, but anywhere in the country where there's too many Hispanics in one community, I think is this. We have legal migrants and some illegal, but they're actually educated. They're actually good people. For some reason, they couldn't get papers to come here, right? So they come here. They don't want to live with other Hispanics. It's like blacks. They don't want to live with the ghetto blacks, because they're disrespectful. They're criminals. They're dirty. They don't take care of their neighborhood. They don't take care of the community. They're just there for their own self-indulgence. So what happens? I think that what happens is this. I was raised to be respectful by my mother. I respect my elders, right? Now, I know that most of you in here are my age or older, so I want to make sure that I show respect to everybody, okay? So forgive me if my words are offensive, but I'm trying to tell you the truth that I know. So what happens? We have people, let's say from Honduras, right? So I come here legally, and, you know, I'm a hard worker. I respect people. I respect the country that gives me the opportunity to raise a family. My kids are American. I'm a migrant, right? I became a resident. I became a citizen. I made an oath. And this oath, you know, I have to denounce to everything from my previous government, and I have to commit myself and accept the United States rules, governments, laws, etc. So now my role is here in the United States of America. Here comes another Honduran guy. Now here comes a Honduran guy. He's a great dad. He's a family man. He's a hard worker, but he doesn't come here legally. So he comes here illegally, right? And then he finds another woman, makes a child here. Now, because he became here illegally, now he has a chance of high chance of being deported. Now, there's another Honduran guy. Now, this guy is actually a criminal. He has killed somebody. He has done something terribly bad that he will probably get killed in jail. That same criminal comes into this country illegally, because if they do a background check on him, they will know that he is a criminal. So now you have 3 Hondurans in this country. And the bad mentality about these 3 Hondurans is this. The one that comes here legally admires the greatness of the country and sees how the good American people have clean streets. They don't just throw garbage anywhere. Now, it happens a lot today, but it wasn't like that always, at least not in my experience. And so I've learned the manners of the American people. And so now we have the other 2 Honduran people. Now, these 2 people, one of them is a hardcore criminal. He should be in jail. The other one is they just came to this country for a better life. But what happens? He found another woman here and made a baby. And that woman is also illegal. So here we go. They come from a third world country. They're not educated. They might be hard workers because they know how to make that money. But in the end, they come from a place where it's dirty. They don't care about how it looks. So they live in this, imagine this third world country housing. and they come to California and they make it to LA. And LA looks like a third world country where all the streets are very small, the houses are dirty, they're old, the rent is expensive, so they gotta live like rats in one little building so that they can afford to pay the rent. When they come in here, it's just chaos. So they never have the mentality of, wow, I came to a nice, clean country. No, they go into a ghetto community because that's where all the Hispanics are actually moving into. And I know that you don't want to hear this, but the government doesn't give a shit about you. All they want is the money that they can get because they are there illegally. So they steer, as they say in real estate terms, they steer a certain kind of people into this community. And they put the blacks here, and they put the Chinese here, and they put the Hispanics here. And that's how we get Chinatown. That's how we get the Hispanic mercadito down in California. Sorry, blacks, you guys don't have anything special. But there is one thing that you can claim, and that's American. So here we go. ICE is coming. They're coming for the third guy, the criminal. They found out that he just committed the same crime, but now here in America. They're looking for him. Now he's working for this construction company. He seems like a very clean guy. He's always nice to the workers. Actually, he has a very filthy mouth, and he's always degrading women. But guess what? The other Honduran, which is a hard worker, a family man, which ended up cheating on his wife, made another kid, he is also working for the same company. As a matter of fact, they work together. ICE comes, grabs the criminal, and then the other Honduran guy starts running. And they're like, why is he running? Well, let's go get him. Hey, do you have papers? No. Then your ass is going back to where you came from. And so now you have three Hondurans. The one that came here legally, the migrant that loves the United States of America, and then you have the other Honduran that came here to work hard to provide for his family. And then you have the criminal Honduran that came over here so that he can get away from the law, and they capture him and they capture the other one. At the end of the day, they're both illegal. They both got to go. And what does the other side of the country say? Oh, you're separating families. Well, he shouldn't have came over here and make children when he has children in Honduras. You're here illegally. Why are you making kids when you know that at any given time and point, you will be deported, and those kids are not going to go with you? Or should they? In my opinion, because the father is illegal, that son is also illegal, and the nationality belongs to Honduras. That child needs to go to Honduras with that father. Because if you're illegal in this country, I don't believe you get to be an anchor baby. That being said, that's just my opinion. Now you can say I'm a traitor, that's all right. I ain't got nothing but love for you. But I gotta say it as I sees it. That's it. You can hate me all you want, but the law is the law. And as I said many times before, if you claim the Constitution, the amendment that gives you due process, you forfeited that due process when you broke the same law to come into this country illegally. And not only did you come here illegally, you are working without authorization, and now you got a felony, and then you use a fake paper to work here. That's a major felony. So you can never be a law-abiding migrant. The only law-abiding migrants are the ones that come here legally. Now, I find it very interesting that you have a lot of this cuckoo. They're still KKK, believe it or not. That's the party that is no longer a good Democratic party. They don't care about us or illegal immigrants. They just care about making that money for themselves. So they're using illegal immigration as kind of a slave trade, so to speak. I know you don't want to hear it, but that's all right. We just gave an example the other day that the Mexicans are protesting in Mexico City because Americans are invading Mexico City. This big mass migration This mass migration of around 11,000 Americans are moving to Mexico, and they are causing the rents to go up. And they're taking houses away from Mexicans, guys. There's starting to be more homeless in Mexico because 11,000 Americans moved down there, and they're just mass migration is destroying their economy. They're holding signs. Learn Spanish. You're in Mexico now. If you come to this country, you're going to come to this country to help the people in this country. You're going to respect the Mexican people. You got to respect our country and our laws. Get out, Yankees. Get out, white men. I got to laugh at that because that's exactly what we say. The only difference is about, let me see. The only difference is that we had, so 11,000 Americans moved to Mexico is causing an economy breakdown for the hardworking Mexicans that live there. Now, we only received about 20,989,000 illegal immigrants in this country. Think about how the housing, I see you guys put in comments, but I can't read jack squat right now. I can see why the housing crisis has risen so high. And you see this crisis being rise so high in blue cities and blue states. Just now, I found, well, I think it was yesterday or today, sometime this, I don't know, whatever, last couple of days maybe. I thought it was today. I don't know if I'm wrong. But President Donald Trump signed an executive order because the governor from Tennessee asked for assistance with crime in Tennessee. In specific, I think it was Memphis, and this is where they're actually going to go. Now, you people, if the shoe fits, wear it. But you people out there have been giving President Donald Trump a hard time about the National Guard being deployed to stop criminals, to help the local police. It's an amount of enforcement to control the crime. Now you guys been saying, oh well, he's racist and he's only doing this in the blue cities and the blue states and oh rah. Well, here you go. You get a Republican governor that says, I need help and I need it now. President Donald Trump, will you help me? Will you bring the National Guard to help us get rid of crime? And you know what? Now you have no reason, no excuse to say that President Donald Trump is a racist. I know people laugh about this, but he doesn't have one bone of racism in his body. If you go and look at his history, besides the crap that these communists are trying to pull on him, remember what Maduro did in Venezuela. He took out his political opponents. The only reason why President Donald Trump is the president today is because God has put him in office. Somebody tried to cheat and they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. If I am ever called to go and serve in Honduras, I will. And I know that my American people will allow me and still see me as honorable because I'll be going down there to try to help the country where I was born. But my loyalty belongs to the United States, so that's not going to happen. It may, who knows? God knows. God knows. Alf, you need your red hat. I got a white one if it makes you feel better. Keep sick. There you go, brother. I know you guys like this one better. I apologize. I should have been wearing this one myself. You're right. I appreciate it. So yeah, Thunderbolt, of course. My loyalty is to the United States of America, and as such, I would help Honduras but it would be the benefit of Honduras first. You sold out, says Thunderbolt. Man, I hope it was worth it. He said, hell no, says Larry. Z-Wub says, nice hat. That a boy. Freedom of speech, right, guys? Freedom of speech. Let's see, what else we got? What else we got in here? Let's see. What do you have to say about people who support a side, right or left, but turn a blind eye to all the wrongs that their side does? So when I give my answer, if you're going to believe me or have an open mind to my answer, then I guess it's worth answering that question. And so here's the problem. We have been lied to by these people that are in office right now representing the Democratic Party. They have been lying so much that is a wolf, wolf, wolf. Now we don't believe anything they say. I'm going to tell you, Melissa Hortman was a Democrat. They loved her. They loved her. The moment that she went against them, they had her killed. Now, Tampon Tim, as a dumbass that he is, of course, says right away, it's a political assassination. Now, why would you go do say something stupid like that? Well, here's my theory. I believe he's involved. You know why? You know why I come to that conclusion? Because Democrats, even though they're just using the black people and the Hispanics, Biden was saying about the black community, oh, I love the black community. Bullshit, he doesn't. He's the one that said that if blacks were to mix with the white kids in the school, that it would just become a jungle. I don't forget that. And there was also Biden who also said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. So he reneged on the black people. That word was perfect for that. I didn't even think about it. So he don't care about the black people. Like they're not black people if they don't support him. And that's how it's always been. Remember when Donald Trump was a Democrat? They loved him. They loved him. And they never thought that he was going to become president. So they had a roast. And he roasted Hillary Clinton. Man, he beat her. He did everything with that woman in the debate. And they still thought that President Donald Trump was not going to win. So they really didn't care much about that. But once he won, oh, he's the devil. Oh, he's a fascist. Oh, he's a Nazi. And I remember Rashid Tlaib, she was over there on that speech. And I made a video about this, a very crappy video, but nonetheless, I made a video about this. And she was over there celebrating with the Palestinian flag. Now, guys, nothing against Palestinians. But she is an American citizen, supposed to be supporting this country, not Palestine, not Honduras, no other country, but the American country. And she's over there and she's talking in front of her children and she says, we are going to impeach the motherfucker. Of course, I didn't say the right word that she used, but you guys know what I'm talking about. So I have a problem with that. And then you got stupid people like the black woman from what is it, Letitia James. I'm gonna go to work every day and I'm gonna sue his ass every single day and then I'm gonna go home. Like what the, like, okay, well, bring it down a couple notches. How am I supposed to hear or listen to anything that they say? They are hateful. Why? You know, a criminal dies of a fentanyl overdose. And what do? They riot the streets, defund the police, throw the police under the bus, make the police look like the criminals. And then this criminal drug addict The guy that pointed a gun at a pregnant woman to steal from her gets a mural, gets a statue, and people go crazy on the left, burning businesses. Idiots, destroying their own communities. We don't do that. So when we're talking about left or right, you gotta see what they do. You see, if the Democrats, if the liberals were against violence, as they say, they would be against Antifa. They would be against illegal immigrants burning cars, police cars, civilian cars, throwing bricks at ICE agents trying to do their job, they could cost somebody's life. If liberals really were the Democrats that they think they are, they would be against all this violence. The moment you turn against their party, you are hated. You got a target over your head, so to speak. Now they hate Donald Trump because he changed from a Democrat to a Republican. And they hate Tulsi Gabbard because she changed from a Democrat to a Republican. Remember they put her on the no-flight list? They made it look like she was some type of terrorist? That is the party that you are supporting. And you are guilty for all of their sins by association. Now, I am very glad and I am very excited that millions of real Democrat people have come to the right side to support for now. Don't panic. We will have our Democratic Party back as soon as we get rid of all these communists, Marxists, socialists that have been in office for way too long. What else do we got? What was it? They keep talking about the assassination attempt on Shapiro. They say it was Republicans. That was a leftist guy. And then they want to say Donald Trump is evil because he says that somebody cheated on the election. January 6th. The people get invited by the police, by the federal agents, blah, blah, blah. President Donald Trump makes a statement, peacefully protest. Orderly, respect authority. And then yet, the videos of the YouTubers catching FBI undercover, your own FBI federal agents dressed as MAGA supporters, inciting violence in the group. Leftist people in the crowd pretending to be Republican MAGA supporters. What do they say about the people? About we the people? Oh, well, he supports President Donald Trump. That means they are fascists and they are Nazis. A Hispanic, Indian Hispanic, a Nazi. Yeah, sure, whatever. Right? That makes total sense, right? So how am I supposed to look at left is good or right is good, left is bad, right is bad? I am seeing all the violence, all the lying, all the accusations, and most recently, Charlie Kirk, and they try to blame that on the Republican Party. They say, oh, he was a conservative, he was a Christian. But what they don't know is that he was living a different life and was actually years into an indoctrination on the leftist side. He started sleeping with a man transitioning to a woman. This guy is not conservative. He is a leftist lunatic. And he took out Charlie Kirk. And what do people say? They celebrate on the left. They make songs. Even the rappers be saying nasty things about him. This idiot Destiny guy over there making fun of a widow and their children. How dare he? Let me guess, he's a leftist. And then he goes and say, oh, no, he was a right-wing guy. He was a right-wing extremist. No. They put a Donald Trump or a Trumpster shirt photoshopped to make it look like he was a Trumpster. Everybody knows by now. Everybody knows by now. And then what do we find? Here's the icing on the cake. January 6th. Oh, this was worse than 9/11. Really? You lost 2,799 lives on January 6th? Really? It's worse than Pearl Harbor? How many soldiers did we lose in Pearl Harbor? Did you lose that many people on January 6th? A window got broken, and the police shot one of the innocent people. Somebody got dragged in there, got caught on the adrenaline, was acting like whatever. That gives them no reason to kill that person. All the footage. Here's for all you release the files for Epstein. I'm going to say it again. Release the January 6th security footage inside and outside of that building. Release the names of all the fake digital pen pardon police officers and FBI agents from January 6th. Why would they need a pardon for future crimes? Because they're hiding something. I want the video and I want the files. So you say left or right? Left is bad. They got way too much stuff. They got way too much negativity for me to say, oh, I think it's on both sides. I think it's about the same thing on both sides. The right is just the same as the left. No, it's not. And Charlie Kirk is the latest victim. Unfortunately for these losers, it's actually awakened the spirit of the American people. And guess what? Not just the American people, but the spirit around the world, even South Korea, the UK, the Russians, throughout the whole world, hundreds of millions of people giving thanks to God, thanking Charlie Kirk for his message, for standing for freedom of speech. Freedom of speech, guys. Don't be offended, okay? Here, I'll do it for you, okay? Just for you. There you go. Okay, calm down. Everything is fine. Everybody relax. Bring it down a couple of notches. We're trying to have a conversation here, all right? There you go. So for all you guys that are MAGA supporters, that was your hat. This is America, mourning for Charlie Kirk. All right, so Z is even a nicer hat, he says. Matt says we already had that information to Edward. Edward, where you at? Let's see. Matt, they released 33,000 pages a week ago. Hey, Edward, I didn't see your name. I'm sorry, I was concentrating, trying to give the information that somebody was asking about. Berniel is in the house. ¿Qué onda, compa? ¿Qué dice el papuchón? Feliz como un perro con dos colas, dicen. Happy like a dog with a double tail. God bless you, brother. I appreciate that, man. All right, so I think that I responded to the question of left or right, and unfortunately the left is not looking good, guys. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm gonna tell you, I really am very psyched because a lot of our patriotic Democrats have united in this neutral zone, right? So the Republicans, and I hope that most of them do, the Republicans are not thinking, oh, we're the best party, come join us. No, the Republicans are seeing the Democrats as the brothers from the same American spirit, and that we're coming together in this neutral place. Listen, you can have a Kamala Harris, a Newsom hat that says Newsom 2028. It's all good, brother. We can still talk. We can still communicate. I can wear my Make America Great Again, and I mean, I was really trying to order the 47 hat, but I think it's only made in China. And I got enough Chinese hats already. I only got a couple American hats. What a shame. I guess I'm paying for those tariffs. All right, here we go. Paul Kennedy, I have been ignoring you. I apologize. I know you always have a question, so I'm going to give you a question. All right, go ahead. Ask me a question. This is for you, brother. Paul, what do you got? What's on your mind? You heard me talking about what I think about the left and well, what I think about the right. So hopefully you are here because you're an American patriot, because you're a migrant that respects the law and love the American people, okay? And hopefully you are going to become the great citizen material to continue making this country great. All right, let's see what we got. Any questions? Let's see. All right, Kiwi says, Trump said you're stupid. Sometimes, but not all the time. What do you think about that? Well, there you go. I just told you. Edward says, a cool cat, Renee. Good to see you. Yeah, Edward, that's not. Edward's one of my brothers at this chat. He is very supportive with his voice and his prayers. Let's see. What is your opinion on alter green card and visa agreements? So I was a green card holder for over 2 decades. I know it's only 5 years and you can apply for the citizenship, but I was thinking about going back to Honduras, but then I have children here, I had to pay child support, and then I got stuck here. And well, now I've been married 14 years with my Samoan wife, my children are American, and here we are, okay? So just in case somebody else had another question. So the green card agreement and even the naturalization for citizenship, there is an expectation that they have for you. If you get a green card, you cannot be out there on the streets protesting, even though it is your right? No, you're not a citizen, not yet. But if you are protesting out there and they happen to have a group of idiots inciting violence and committing riots, and you get caught in that shit, go back to your green card and you get deported. So with that being said, if you're looking to be a naturalized citizen, there is also a thing called that if you are in, if you grab an affiliation, for example, if you are affiliated with the cartel, which is named a terrorist group now, right? Any terrorist group, you can lose your citizenship for that. And I believe that might apply to even natural born citizens. I'm not sure. And this falls under the category of being a traitor. You no longer belong to the people. But that's just my take. There is a lot more. I made a video before. Of course, the video didn't go nowhere. There was like maybe 10 views somewhere in there. For some reason, I don't know, making videos with my desktop, they never go anywhere. So if you guys are curious about my ugly videos from before, you are more than welcome to look at the history, check it out, see what you think. There's actually video links, and things like that. Not links, videos that I captured to show you what I'm talking about. Specifically when I talk about the big, beautiful bill. Many people hate that bill, and the bill could have been better, but you know what? We got what we got, because not everybody can agree that everything in the bill is a good thing. All right. That was your question. Same thing. If you're here illegally, you got to go. Berniel, how are you, my friend? I know I seen your boy Cellulite podcast, but when I'm at work, I can't watch, and I missed it. I try to go by in there and drop a line, for him or not, but we'll see. I know, Paul, it's not a pretty thing, but I believe that what President Donald Trump did, he said that he was going to work on trying to get some people, right, that can come in and help in that situation. Remember, Donald Trump was not aware of that right away, so he had to be, debriefed on that information. So it took a while. Plus, man, you guys are crazy. You're asking President Donald Trump to do so much shit for this country. Like, how much time do you think he has? The guy needs to be asleep, man. He's getting old. He needs to be taken care of. Like, I mean, he should be, a lot more chill. Man, he's all over the place. He's trying to fix your criminal problems and the crime problems, and he's trying to make peace around the world, and he's trying to raise tariffs to bring money into this country. He's trying to fix our economy. He's working with this and that. And it's like, bro, how much do you expect the man to be able to do? I can barely hang at my age. half a century old. I go to work full time. I am tired. My eyes don't get better because I go to work and then I come and do this now. So now I really don't get rest. On top of that, I have the curse of having central apnea, which means that I cannot sleep at night. And when I cannot sleep at night, it is the most horrible experience that you will ever have if you have sleep apnea. I go to sleep when you think that you get 1 or 2 hours of sleep. I don't go to sleep. The sleep study said that I'm awake the whole time. I never truly fall asleep, and this is what I have. So pray for me. All right? So I pray for you, you pray for me, we pray for each other, and we strengthen each other with that. And on top of that, of course, we keep preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ. Now, guys, this is a channel where we tell stories, where we talk about politics, and we talk about religion. So you're going to get a little bit of both, a little bit of everything when you're in here. Amen. Everybody pray for me. I accept prayers, and don't be trying to curse me. I want prayers, not curses. So if you don't believe, don't even mention my name. Let's see. The nothing says stop bailing and start conquering. Paul says, Dennis, thanks for acknowledging me. See you later, bud. All right, Paul, you take care, brother. You be blessed. Be good. Be good. Irma, thank you. I appreciate those prayers very, very much. According to my fake religion, your home belongs to me for 4,000 years ago. Shalom, and thank you for your home. You're very welcome. I hope my home is great for you, and I hope they treat you right. Many prayers going out for you, Dennis. Thank you, Susan. God bless you. God bless you. I really mean it. I really mean it. I am probably the most imperfect person in this live chat. Probably the worst sinner. Don't deserve salvation, but by the grace of God, I am saved. Thank you, Jesus. Let's see. You're a horrible for supporting his tariffs. So, one of the reasons that I find it funny to me, okay, just to me, all right, true, absolutely, 100%, I mean it. I got way too many flaws. But thank you for your prayers. Thank you. I love you for that. We separated from Britain. And I read this last night, right? You can look it up. Just go look USA and find out what the brief history of the USA, and it will tell you why we shouldn't be paying taxes and that we should be using tariffs. So we separated from the British people for a few things, okay? One of them was the taxes, right? They were taking taxes away from us, plus they were doing some bad shit to our villages. So that's one thing. And then we have tariffs. Now, the government used to be supported by tariffs alone. That means that the people were not paying taxes until 1913. The Democrats decided, hey, wouldn't it be a great idea if we start collecting taxes from the people, and then maybe we can grow this country faster, right? So we start paying taxes. And what happens? Somewhere along the line, we lost our spirit of a warrior, a spirit of the settler, want to build something for this country, and the spirit of freedom. And then we allowed our local government to raise taxes. And then we started seeing it as a natural thing. Because, see, the mentality of the person, it takes a while to change. Just like I talk about these illegal immigrants that come from third world countries. They come and do what they did in their country. They come and do it here, and they make a little tiny third world country community, and that's how they live. And then they come out into the big city and they poop all over that as well. So sanctuary cities is not on my booklet. I don't know where I went there. I apologize. We're talking about tariffs. So tariffs, I think, is a great thing. You see, a lot of people decided to forget about the country and started looking about what they can get for themselves. Now, I am very surprised that having a lot of socialist people in this country, they are not for tariffs. The socialists should be the ones that are supporting tariffs more than anybody else. because that means that your taxes, your taxes that you pay right now, they can go away if tariffs takes care of the government. And the government will still give money to the states according to the census. Thus, that's why we have a lot of illegal immigrants in some of these blue states and cities. But that's besides the point. So socialists should be the most people agreeing and wanting tariffs to work. But instead, what do? Well, I'm not working, so then we have a few rich people here in Washington State. Seattle has Microsoft. They won't mind if we take $1 billion from them. So if they don't mind and they don't notice, why not take it? I say that sarcastically, but it's the truth. They said that. The government here in Seattle said that. Somebody asked them, why do you raise taxes on the businesses? And they said, I can't remember the name of the guy, but he's in charge over there. It's not Bob Ferguson, the idiot governor that we have. It's somebody else. But he says Microsoft makes billions of dollars in profit. If we take $1 billion from them, they will never miss it. So why not take it? That's how they see it. They tax the American, the Washingtonians. I'm talking about Washington State only. I know it happens everywhere. But Washington State, they tax Washingtonians up to here. And why? Because they can. Why? Because the hardworking people just work harder. Meanwhile, the lazy people that depend on the government, they don't care because they're not paying for food. They're not paying for housing. They're not paying for medical. But the hardworking Washingtonian has to pay $500-600 a month on health insurance for family. They have to pay taxes. Federal taxes get taken out of their paychecks. So they got to work extra so that they can afford to pay the damn tax that they keep raising on Washingtonians. In the meantime, the lazy Washingtonians that depend on welfare, they don't go to work, they don't pay taxes, they don't help Washington, and all they do is destroy what they touch. So I have a problem with that. We are a capitalist country that takes care of over 60% of the socialist people that we have here. Welfare does not get paid by socialists. Welfare gets paid by the capitalists. You like that? Ah, man, that took years in the making for that speech right there. And you get to hear it here for free. You're welcome. With that being said, I heard that President Donald Trump, or what I should say, our Navy, shut down another boat with drugs, supposedly coming this way. To be honest, I don't care where they were going. But if there were drugs, take them out. No more capture and release. Just take them out. They're terrorists now. Take them out. Pretty soon, the Venezuelan people are going to be free. Now, riddle me this. Why does the Mexican president say she doesn't want war against drugs or the cartel, and yet certain locations where drugs and the cartels are, she's going after them, capturing them and releasing them to the United States of America? Riddle me that. What do you think is going on right there? Did they declare that already, Sixto? Did they make them a terrorist group? Oh, I hope so. Hey, Damien, how are you? God bless you. Real Mexicans know this is still our land, and we can take it back when their empire collapses. You know what, Ruben? You're not too far from the truth. That is exactly what our enemies is trying to do. Number one, I don't trust China. And, just by association, right? Check this out. All of the fentanyl, well, most of it, let's give Venezuela some credit for this. Most of the fentanyl comes from China. Now, you guys know after the Cold War, the United States of America became the greatest, most powerful country on earth. Okay? Okay. Most of the fentanyl comes from China. It goes to Mexico. Mexico fixes it up. The cartel get it. Boom, bada bing, bada boom. And then they bring it over here to the States. They use illegal Mexicans to sell this fentanyl on the street that kills thousands of Americans and innocent other lives. They use the cartels that are Mexican American. They use Americans. They don't discriminate. They'll use anybody that will do their dirty work. And so by association, I can see now, I don't know, maybe I missed it. Let me see if anybody solved the riddle from Mexico. Let's see, all the American flags won't save you when they come for you. Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Policeman, give me no break. And that's all I know. I can't follow up what the hell they're talking about that song, but that's a good song. Let's see, lies, black people land. Oh man, let's not forget that it was the blacks that were enslaving blacks first, and actually the blacks were enslaving white people first. So there's that. Johnny Bat's so true. Let's see, zombies. Frank, for real, this clown is a Trump supporter. I know, right? This much wisdom that comes upon me sometimes makes me question my choices. Yes, Honduras, number one. Viva Honduras para siempre. No way. I love this dude, says Sean. True says, that'll hurt the channel. What channel? The Panama Canal? Mexico, Venezuela joins BRICS. What happens, USA? Okay, what I was going to say, because Ruben made a point. And what I was going with the relationship between China and Mexico is this. How can the Chinese take out Americans? Think about it. How can the Chinese take out the Americans without going to war, without launching a missile? How? And I'm sure the Mexican president was told what's going on through Mexico. Now, she says that she captures kilos of, drugs and whatever, small potatoes. Why do we say small potatoes? Because we have caught, what was it, over 200 kilos, I think it was, of fentanyl or methamphetamine. I don't know what the hell kind of drug it was, but I was over here in Washington State. It's a sanctuary city. What do you expect, right? This is what I'm telling you. They don't care about the illegal immigrants. They don't care about migrants. They just care about the money that they get from having that many people in here. And they release the criminals because they are making money, just like the thief and the corrupted government that says marijuana is legalized. So now they have a higher tax on marijuana. They make billions of dollars. Now the drug dealer doesn't get to sell marijuana and make that money. And then they say, we want the Washingtonians to stop smoking. So we're going to raise the taxes 100%. And that will surely make sure that they quit smoking. So what do you do now? Instead of paying $5 for a pack of smokes for you smokers out there, now you got to pay $15. How about that? So, with that being said, Mexico has a lot of explaining to do. And, they're everywhere. They're everywhere. And I get it, desperation, maybe greediness, maybe they're threatening their lives and some people have no choice. But I think we always have a choice, right? Rob says, Don Dennis, you're a real one. I hope it's a good one, not a bad one. Maviusas says, do you believe in God? Of course. The only thing Trump ever gave America was COVID-19, says John. Wait, that was the Chinese virus. Did you guys ever watch a movie? I think it was a Korean movie, but the people were getting sick with COVID-19. Like, I'm serious. There was a movie and they had COVID-19. This is years before the Wuhan thing and the COVID-19 actually came here to the United States of America. Now, I want to make something clear on the real, okay? This is not a joke. So, Dr. Fauci told President Donald Trump, we don't need masks. And I remember because I watched him and I listened to him. And then he flipped. Somebody talked to him. I don't know who. Somebody talked to him and he flipped. And then he says, oh, masks are mandatory. Oh, no. Donald Trump says, I'm going to shut down the country. Nope, nobody's coming from China. We're not going to have anybody from these countries. Oh, no, President, you can't do that. You're racist. You can't be doing that. Okay, fine. He couldn't stop them. He kept all these people comes over here, and then, boom, everybody gets COVID. And then they lie to us. And they said, you need to vaccinate. If you take the vaccine, you will not get sick. Bullshit. I got sick 4 times. And they said, oh, well, if you take the booster, you won't get sick and you won't be contagious. I got my family sick and I took 3 extra jabs. So F them for lying to me. I want Fauci in jail because they shut down this country. It really disturbed a lot of young minds, especially children, for being on lockdown. And all this corruption from schools, billions of dollars was given to them for safety and all this bull crap. The schools never saw that. Somebody kept that money. And let's not forget that there is still 22 to 26 trillion dollars that are unaccounted for during the Democrats' administration, including Obama's. How about that? I think maybe George Bush might be included in there. 5 estrellas de por vida, 5 stars, says April. Thank you. I listen to a lot of reporters, a lot of newscasts from Mexico. Some defend the president. Some actually talk bad about her. It's kind of like the same as here. They have a left and a right. And then I'm watching what's happening. And I'm watching what she's doing. And so what gets to me, it's when I'm listening, obviously it's in Spanish, right? But anybody can translate it. I listen to her and she says this. She says, I don't want war on the cartel or on drugs. They need hugs. And it is anti-constitutional. Well, that's what she says in Spanish. It's unconstitutional, she says. That goes against the Constitution of Mexico. This is what she says. Now, the other side says, no, that's not true. But what gets to me is she's arresting drug dealers. So she's arresting certain cartels, which makes me think maybe she's just getting rid of the competition. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So here's the other thing. This is on a different day, but I am listening to the Mexican president, and they have all these people that come in and they say, yep, over here in Guadalajara, 45% crime is down. Sounds like Chicago. Here in the, Colima, Manzanillo, yeah, crime is down 70%. And, Mexico City, boom, 70% crime is down. And 50% and 60% and, 99% crime is down on all Mexico. Blah, blah, blah. And then here comes el pueblo guy. Here comes el campesino. Or like some people here say el nopal. He comes over and says, Mrs. President, I know you said that the crime in my town, in my city is down 70%. Well, 17 people just died this weekend. And crime doesn't seem to be down 70%. People are dying every day. And I'm like, okay, that sounds so Chicago familiar to me. So you see, You got to pay attention, man, to other things that are happening around the world as well. I've said it, and I've said it many times, and I will continue to say it. Mexico, it's a beautiful piece of land. Mexico has the greatest, most hospitable persons that I have ever met. I mean it. They have very beautiful people, humble people, hardworking people. Yes, yes. 6-0, we're not going to leave our Hondurans behind. I will say something about my people. Viva Honduras, that's right. And I remember this one time, guys, and this probably is probably nothing to you. But I went on a vacation, okay? And I got this very cheap flight because I was living down in California. And it's just a few hours straight down to where I was going. But because the flight was so cheap, I had to fly all the way from California is right here, and then my area of vacation is right here, okay? So the cheap flight took me to DF, to Mexico City, and then we went all the way around and came back to the location where I was going to go. Anyway, when I changed airplanes in Mexico City, number one, the airport looked amazing. It was huge. You know, everybody's trying to get the next flight. You know, everything is looking great. And I go to the bathroom. I had to go. Guys, forgive me for being too graphic. I had to go number 2. Really bad. And so there is a guy at the door. And, you know, I go into the stool. I use the bathroom. It was bad Taco Tuesday. It was bad. And as soon as I get out of the booth, he comes in with his little spray and wipes the toilet seat. Guys, I just finished using the toilet, and he comes in, he sprays right away, disinfects the seat, everything. The smell, can you believe that? The humbleness. He was earning a living cleaning the toilet, but he wasn't coming in like in the United States with a little cart, you know. Anybody in here? Maintenance, you know, starts mopping and spraying. He's got all these gloves and, you know, and all this. They take their time, make sure everything has been air fresh. This guy, no. He went in there right away. Thank you, April. He went in there right away, cleaned it, and I washed my hands. And he hands me the paper towels. I think I only had like $20 cash, 20 something. I grabbed it and I gave it to him and I said, God bless you, man. I wish I had more. I said, it brings tears to my eyes to even remember this guy. So anyway, that is my story about Mexico's airport in Mexico City. Beautiful, beautiful airport. And then as I'm flying above Mexico City, there is thousands of houses everywhere. Even up the mountain, it's like the whole thing was painted with houses. And then we're flying through a lot of Mexico, and there's a lot of green land. It's very fertile. And so if Mexicans get their haciendas, you know, or they buy a piece of land and they want to be farmers and they just want to have fruits, etc., it is such a beautiful country. And I'll tell you, hats off to the Mexican people. And I was very saddened when I was listening to the Mexican president a couple of weeks ago. But I went to Manzanillo, Colima, and it's a very small town. And I have had the best, most awesomest experience in Mexico. And oh my gosh, do they have so many beautiful women in Mexico. But that was when I was single, all right? I was single. I was able to look. I was single. I almost marry a senorita while I was down there. You know what I'm saying? Almost, but no. But I'm telling you, Trinity, there you are. No, no, no. No worries. We still have 5 minutes. Oh man. And then you know what? I met the old people. They were so generous. They were so hospitable. They saw me. I lost my luggage was lost because I was flying on Spirit. You know about Spirit, don't you? That's the airlines that you fly with the chickens and everything. So, so anyway, so I went to the market and I tried to buy some chanclas, try to buy some shirts, and my shorts, because I was going to be there for 2 weeks. And I was lost, and this lady asked me if I needed help, and she helped me. And then the Mexican old man, obviously they're all Mexican, I guess, but the old man asked me if I needed help, and boom, he helped me. And then I was outside the bank, it was hot, and the sun is hitting really hard, and there was a big line in the bank, and the soldier that was guarding, he looked at me and he said, "You need to come in here." And I said, "Yes." And then he talked to the people in front of them. Everybody scooch over just a little bit and then let me be inside so that I don't have to be out in the hot weather. This is Mexico. I am in love right now with Mexico, right? And then I'm walking down the street and I go by this carnicero. That means butcher. And I go by this carnicero and I ask him, because somebody told me that they sell tortillas towards his, where he was. But I wanted to buy some meat so that I can bring that back, to where I was, and then I can cook it. Well, he was outside and he had this big olla. What do you call that? Why can I not think of that? What's an olla? Anybody know what an olla is? It's like a big pot, right? But this is the big ones that you make big tamales with, and you put it over actual firewood. Anyway, so he has some pancreas, he has some liver, he has some heart, and this is all from the cow. And he said, "What are you looking for?" Obviously in Spanish, right? And I said, "Oh, I'm looking. They say there's a place over here where they sell tortillas." And he's like, "Yeah, I make tortillas." I was like, "Oh. Yeah, but it says you're a butcher." He's like, "Yeah, I'm also a butcher." And he says, "Well, what are you doing here?" I was like, "Oh, I came here for vacation. Man, I'm from Honduras." He's like, "Oh, you're from Honduras? Órale, vato," and he's just like so friendly and make me feel at home. And he didn't care I was from Honduras. He welcomed me. And he says, "You want a taco?" And I said, "Yeah, I want a taco." And he's like, "Well, here, hold on." And he grabs a couple of tortillas, and then he reaches out for the pancreas. And he says, "Are you picky with food?" I said, "I'll eat anything on that pork or that cow." And he said, "Well, here, let me know if you like this." And I grabbed it. He said, wait. First, and then he comes in and he grabs his little hot sauce. I was like, no, I don't eat hot. Okay, I'll eat the hot sauce. I'll eat the hot sauce. And so he put whatever in there, and I take a bite, and I was like, "Oh, this is so good. What is it?" And he tells me it's a pancreas. And I was like, "Oh, that's very good." I was like, "Thank you so much. How much?" And he says, "Nothing." And he says, "Here." And he gives me a pack that he had it wrapped up already. And he says, "Here, thank you for visiting Mexico." And I said, "Oh, thank you so much." And I said, "Can I buy some meat? I want to buy some carne asada, right? Some beef, some steak, some filet steak." And of course, I bought the meat. I brought it over. We cooked it. There's a grill at the hotel where I was staying, so I grilled the meat, had the tortillas, etc. I was so in love. I'm. If you're from Honduras, I'm gonna tell you something. It had been a while since I've been to Honduras, and I was in this pueblo, and I felt like if I just walked a little bit longer, I can go visit my cousins. The small town, the pueblo was so beautiful. It's a small pueblo with great people. You hear some kid getting spanked for misbehaving. Ah, the great times when we used to get whooped for being bad kids back then. You just hear the screaming and you're like, "Oh my God, what did that kid do?" It wasn't bad, guys. It was a couple of smacks. That was it. It was not child abuse. They were actually really great people. And then the next experience I get is somebody, the same butcher, he knew another guy, and they were going to el rodeo, which is it's like what do you call rodeos? Anybody? Well, a rodeo. It's like a rodeo, right? They have the bull riders and the horse riders and whatever. Here is the most amazing thing to me. This is just me, guys. I love the simple things. We are sitting, well, first of all, we are in line, and there is some beautiful senoritas. Oh my gosh, those women were gorgeous, beautiful, great smile, beautiful eyes, luscious hair. And then here comes this drunk Mexicans. That's right. Like 3 or 4 of them. And I was like, shit. Shit's about to hit the ceiling. And I'm thinking that somebody's going to fight here. These guys are going to come over there and they're going to disrespect the ladies. And no, they didn't. They were like, oh, take the hat off. Disculpe, señorita. Pardon me. Go on. Go on. Here, be careful. There's mud over here. And the guy, oh my gosh, he takes his jacket off. He throws it in the mud. And the Mexican girls walk over it. I was like, wait, what? This is Mexico. What happened to that? Hey, mamacita, you know? What happened to that? Nothing. And I'm just like, what the hell? This is Mexico's great. And then the best part out of my whole trip, well, the hotel was beautiful. It's called Hotel Las Hadas. The God fairies, the godmothers, or the fairies. I don't know, something like that. It's beautiful. It was all white back then. I don't know if it still exists. But I get inside the rodeo, and I'm sitting there because somebody's hosting me, right? It was the grandpa and the grandkids, and man, I'm sitting there, and they're like, "Oye, ¿tienes hambre? You hungry?" I say, "Oh man, I can go for some tacos right now." And they had tacos, and then they had something else. I don't know what it's called. It's like a tamal, but maybe Mexicans call it tamal as well. And so I got one of those, and the guy was going around, giving las chelas, and they had Coronas and some Budweiser and Bud Light, and I grab a Bud Light because this is light beer. And the grandpa grabs a Corona, and then the other guy grabs a Modelo. But here's the thing, guys. That's not the amazing part. The music starts playing. And I don't know if you heard the Mexican music, but it's like, I don't know. I don't care what music you listen to, but when you hear Mexican music, you just start bouncing. This is why they call us jumping beans, I think. I don't know. This is what the beaners are called, jumping beans. And I'm looking around, and I love to see families. Now, mind you guys, I get a little bit, I know my eyes are burning because they're dry, but I do get emotional because when my mother was alive, our family was united like this tight, and we're not anymore. We're just everybody for themselves, right? But I remember looking around, and I see all the families, and I see the grandpa. The music is jamming. Now you're in there, your festivities, and you're dancing, and the grandpa's over there with the granddaughter, and he picks her up, and then all of a sudden the other one plays with the hat, and they're doing some dance or whatever. And then I look down, and there is a couple down, and there's a tall, skinny Mexican. They're all Mexican. I'm sorry, I keep saying Mexican. Okay, but there's a tall, skinny guy down there with a sombrero and everything, and he's dancing the music so smooth, so perfect. He will twist the lady, and they just down there by the rodeo while it's break time, right? And I'm just looking around, and Mexicans are some of the most festive people. I was the happiest man on earth while I was in Mexico. So, yeah, corridos. Yeah, that's right, Irma, corridos. And, a lot of banda, Like they played back then. It was like a banda maguey, banda machos, bandas like that, right? And they're just the music is great. It's just great. And so I had such a good time. And so I asked myself, it's like, why do Mexicans want to go to the United States illegally? Why would they ever want to leave this place? And so, sorry, a good story goes bad. And then I hear the Mexican president, and they're bringing the reports of the most violent, most criminal cities. Manzanillo, Colima was one of them. It broke my heart because just over, man, not even 10 years ago. No, yeah, it has to be. 2007 is when I went there. And now is the most criminal city or town in Mexico. And I'm like, what happened? And this is the same thing where, my phone is over here. Siri is over here looking information about Mexico. I must have said something that sounded like her. I don't know. Whatever it was. But it's sad, because they're moving over here, and yet I thought, Mexico is the greatest country that I've ever been to. And I felt like if I just walked a little bit longer, I'm in Honduras. I can visit my family. It was so familiar. And so Carlos, I don't know if Carlos is here today, but Trinity was, and we were talking about how Mexico was all the way down, including Honduras and all this other stuff. And having these memories, having these, great memories of Mexico, it makes me feel happy. It makes me feel very happy. And I hope that one day Mexico goes back to being great again. I really mean that. I know it sounds cliche. It sounds corny, but I really mean it. I really want Mexicans, and I know they won't believe me, okay? But I'll tell you this, with all of my heart, I tell you, I wish that all illegal Mexicans, I know where you're going, let me finish. I wish that all illegal Mexicans will go back to Mexico. Hopefully, take money from here so you can buy land. Make yourselves a new town. There's millions of illegals in here. Make yourselves a new town in Mexico and live happy. It's very possible, very doable. Now, the question is, how do we help them achieve that? Because no, start a cartel. What's wrong with you, Garim? What's wrong with this guy? Put him in timeout. Stop messing the stories up, man. We don't want to start a cartel. No, I'll be in a cartel. John, stop feeding him stupidity. Mexico should have stayed a territory of the U.S. No, don't worry. No, you don't have to block them. I'm just joking, Ronald. I'm just joking. They're just joking. You know what? Forget about California being Mexico. I really believe that, and I don't know if I'm just biased because I'm Hispanic. I don't know if it's because I have a lot of Mexican friends and I grew up around Mexicans here in Washington. But I think that we should be really building a better relationship with Mexico. I think that if the government that they have right now would step down and the other side will take over the government, I can almost guarantee you that Mexico will be a night and day change of a country. I really believe it. Honduras, I'm going to tell you something about Honduras. The place where my mother's from is called Santa Rosa in Santa Barbara, San Luis. Some beautiful, gorgeous Honduras women in there. And my mom comes from there. I have a lot of beautiful cousins. Don't get perverted. We don't date cousins. But there's a lot of beautiful women in that part of Honduras. And not only that, but the people there are not all, there's some bad ones, but my grandpa comes from there as well. And I never met him because you have to understand this, okay? My what, Omar? I need a beautiful Honduran Christian woman. Be careful what you ask for, my friend. Be careful what you ask for. Uh, all right. So, hey, Jeb, how are you? Thanks for joining. So, I forgot what I was going to tell you. Damn it, Omar. You threw me off, man. Thank you, D. Dennis said. I was saying something. Oh, yeah. Say, so I never met my grandfather because when he married my grandmother, he was almost twice her age. Okay. Now, I don't remember if she was 16, 17. I don't remember. Okay. But this is, believe it or not, this is 1800s. We're talking about late 1800s. Okay. Like my grandma was literally born 1880 something. And oh man, let that one cool off because I burned the heck out of my mouth last time. So my grandma was born in the 1800s something. So imagine my grandfather being born in the 1870s, late 1860s. This is crazy. Okay, so my grandmother has 10 children. Between the oldest and the youngest, which is my mother, there is 41-year difference. Okay? So my grandmother had my mother at 41. So just imagine, 41 years from the oldest. By the time that I am born, my mother has me when she's 40. Between me and my oldest auntie, there is an 80-year difference. That's one generation in 1 century. That is crazy. Okay, Eduardo, you can put him in timeout for 10 minutes. I don't appreciate that. That's offensive. I'm talking about my heritage here. My grandfather, may he rest in peace, and my grandmother, may she rest in peace. Which, by the way, my grandmother made it to be 104 years old. And I think I might have told you this story, but she fell in the bathroom, hurt her head, and she couldn't recover. So there is that. And so, just imagine how much age is between me and my oldest aunt, because it's the oldest was a female, and then I have uncles and I have other aunts, and then my mother is the last one, which, by the way, my mother was the most loved out of all of them. And this last time that I visited, let's see what you say, Money. Your grandma is someone amazing. I hope she's in heaven. She definitely is, my friend, and I will tell you why. Listening to this and looking down on me watching it, because she's crazy, amazing, and very special. Hey, man, thank you, Money. Appreciate it. Between her children is awesome and very and good, not bad. Yeah. You know what? She was still walking around. She had lost most of her sight, but she was still walking around. And, this was what's amazing about my grandmother. My grandmother spent all of her days praying. I kid you not. In the Bible, they say that in Revelations, right, that when we are in heaven, there's these beings that just worship God day and night, worship God day and night. They never get tired, and that's all they want to do. I'm going to tell you, my grandmother, if you were next to her or if you walk by her, she is praying for her children, for her grandchildren. And when she wasn't praying, she was singing coritos. Coritos is Christian, old school Christian songs, from the church. And I can always hear her singing. And when she wasn't singing, she was whistling. Yeah, my grandmother was a whistler, Like, I don't whistle like that. I whistle like this. Sorry about that. I went too far, too far. But that was her. And so she was praying, she was worshiping, she was whistling, and that's it, man. That's what I got from my grandmother. And I will tell you, she was very spiritual, and she has such a kind heart. She loved people. She helped everybody she could when she was able to. She really, truly gave her heart out for her neighbors, for all of us grandkids. She always made sure we were fed. I remember my grandmother, I was her favorite grandson. And I'm not lying. I don't care what my cousins say. I was the favorite, okay? I was the favorite because when I used to come and visit her all the time. Now, I'm a mama's boy, right? And my mother used to kiss me all the time, and I kissed my mom all the time. And so when I was with my grandma, man, I always loved hugging my old lady, and I gave her so many kisses, and she just blessed me, and she prayed for me. God, make him a good man when he grows up, and she'll pray for me. And I remember this one time I was running around, and she called me up. She was sitting, and mind you, the sun is hitting hard, okay? And she calls me and she tells me to settle down. And she says, come over here. And she makes me put my head on her lap. And then she starts rubbing my hair. And then she starts singing some coritos, right? Some Christian Spanish songs. And I would pass out completely. I left so much slobber on my grandma's apron. She didn't care. She never got up. She waited until I woke up. And then she got up. And it's just an amazing, I don't know. You know what? If you're new to my channel, you haven't heard me say my story. But I suffered a lot when I was a kid. And I can't believe that I'm not a thief, that I'm not a criminal, that I'm not doing something bad. But now that I tell you this story, yeah, I think that's it. I think it was my grandmother praying for me. I think it was my grandmother giving me that love. My mother loved me all the way until she came to the United States. And of course, we separated for a while, but eventually we came together until she passed. But it's a true story. I love it. And I am glad that I got to share it with you guys. Ronald, is I gotta go. See you later, Ronald. Thank you for your support. He probably said that a long time ago and I missed it. Cool Cat Renee says, Dallas, Craigslist, when is your CD coming out? I don't know. Let's see. Who says here? Trinity says good night to Ronald. Yes, Prime. Yeah, man, you're blessed to have your parents, man. Take care of them. Take care of them, honor them, so that you receive a greater blessing from God. You're truly blessed already, as it is. No, somebody trying to call me. All right, guys. Well, I think that is it for today. I hope I didn't anger too many people today. I want to check here really quick. I want to tell you guys, thank you so much for your likes. Thanks for your subscribes. If you guys are new to this channel, just know that we talk about politics. We talk about religion. Sometimes we get goofy and talk about music or movies. Today, I wanted to finish with, we ended up finishing on story time, but I love it. Normally, we leave it for Fridays, but you guys get to have it today. It's a true story. I am blessed to have had a grandmother that took care of us and really just sowed a lot of love into our hearts. And that's God's will. That's God's Holy Spirit. And that's why I believe what I believe. Trinity, thank you so much for joining. Rene, thank you for joining. Miguel, if you're still in here, you probably fell asleep listening to my BS. God bless you, brother. Much love to you. Omar, same to you. We are at almost 5,900 subscribers. Omar, getting very close to that 10,000. I can't wait to get that watch for you. And I'm going to order it from Amazon and they will deliver it directly to your house. Okay, so when that happens, I'll let you know and you'll get that gift from me. Okay, I love you, little brother. Hope everything is good with you. Trinity, hope everything is well over there as well. I hope the communication down there has gotten better, and I wish the best for your daughter and for you, of course, but the best for your family. God bless you. May he take care of you guys every single day. Pat, thanks for joining. God bless you. You have a good night. God bless America. Thanks for joining, brother. Appreciate you. Even hippie girl, hippie cowgirl. Ah, man, you came in too late. But hello and thank you for stopping by. Tomorrow, 5 o'clock, guys. If you guys are early birds, I might have a little live in the morning. I think the way that I made my schedule was Monday, Wednesday, which tomorrow is Wednesday. No live tomorrow in the morning. I am going to sleep in and I'm going to get up late at 5. You know, there was a time where I used to think getting up at 7 was very, very early. But now my body just says 4:30. Get your ass up. So tomorrow I'll get to sleep in at 5. We'll see how it goes. If maybe I'll do a live, but for sure, 5 p.m. is my commitment to you guys, Monday through Friday. If I am a little bit late on Friday after 5 p.m., it's because I got off work a little bit later. So bear with me. Thank you guys so much. Love your support. Love your prayers. Please keep me in your prayers. As a matter of fact, let me close in prayer. If you guys believe in God, you can stay. And it's a quick prayer, real quick. If you don't, that's okay. Thank you so much for sticking around. Father, I want to thank you for today. Is another blessing. I thank you for the positivity and the people that you are putting in my life. My heart feels at peace because you are my King and my Lord, and because you put great people to come along my side. I thank you that you have allowed us to build this channel, to build in here some patriots that will fight for America. We believe that this country was founded under Christianity and under your ruling, Lord. Now, I know we separate politics and the government from religion, but in this channel we talk about all those things because we want to honor you and we want to bless other people like us with our stories, Lord. Hopefully somebody can connect and that they will seek to be your servant. And I pray, Father, in the name of Jesus Christ, that your name be exalted, for you are the only holy, holy, holy. We ask you, Father, that you strengthen us in our life. I pray for my brothers and sisters out there that are struggling in life, that they don't lose hope. May peace come into their life in the name of Jesus. Father, we give you all the honor and all the glory, and we praise you for all the years of our life, Lord. In the name of Jesus, we close in prayer and let it be done. Have a good night. God bless you and God bless the USA. You'll be good. Till tomorrow, 5 p.m. We'll see you then.